Hello everyone. Today I will discuss links and association, aggregation, composition, and is a relationship, has a relationship in case of inheritance. I will also discuss about the metaclass and grouping construct. In the previous lecture I have discussed about the relationship among classes using inheritance. I also discuss the abstract class interface, how to represent by using class diagram, and in this lecture mainly we will cover the association, aggregation and composition, which is very important for your exam. Let us start what does mean link first. So a link or physical or conceptual connection between object instance. Okay. And for example, let me write a class name. So whatever the class name, for example, this is my class name, one of my class, and this is my object name. Okay. And here this is my another class. This is the general syntax. We can say object name. So we have a two class. In between two class, a link, that is called link, and the link is represented by a line label with its name. So that means link name. Okay. So in between two class, so a link is a physical or conceptual connection. We can think as a physical, we can think as a conceptual connection between two objects, and link is represented by a line label with his name. Okay. You can think for a for example, the class name is, for example, person. Person is my class name, and one of the object, for example, name of a person, for example, Karthik, and this is the another class name. So class name, for example, if I think book, book is a class name, and object name is, for example, physics. Okay. So person, link, what is the link name? So reads. So Karthik reads physics. So it's a has a relationship or part of relationship. Okay. So in association describes a group of links with common structure, common semantics between two or more classes, and association is represented by a label. Compare with this one, label with association name in italic form. So we can write like this. Okay. So this is my link name, or you can say it's a association name. And in our association we can think relationship is a structural relationship in which the different objects are linked within the system, and it exists a binary relationship of the object between represent and activity. So you can see also from this diagram the composition and aggregation are two subset of association. In both the cases, the object of one class is honored by the object of another class. The only difference is that in composition, the child does not independently of its parents, whereas in aggregation the child is not dependent on its parents. The standalone, that is standalone. The aggregation is a special form of association, we can say that, and composition is a special form of aggregation. So, from this diagram we can say that aggregation and composition is a two subset of association, and an aggregation is a special form of association and composition is a special form of aggregation. Later I will compare the association, aggregation and composition. Right now let me think, how do I represent the aggregation? Okay. So, let us consider aggregation is a subset of association. I have already mentioned, it is a collection of different things, it represents a relationship, it is more specific than a association. For example, if I think this is my car, okay. So, one of my class name is car and it has a wheel. So, in any sense we know that there are two type of relation, is a relationship and has a relationship. So, car has a wheel. So, it is a relationship, has a relationship or part of relationship. So, you can write wheel. So, when this is my child is independent of its parent. Here considering car and a wheel example, a car cannot move without a wheel, right, but wheel can be independently used with bike, scooter, cycle or any other vehicle. In wheels object can exist without a car object also, which provide to an aggregation relationship. Understood? So, whenever we want to represent a aggregation relationship, so this is my independent, not dependent. So, we can use a diamond shape, diamond, empty diamond towards car. So, it is represent an aggregation relationship. Okay. Similarly, if I want to, that is my example of aggregation. Okay. So, aggregation is a subset of association, it is a collection of different things and it represent a relationship. What kind of relationship? It is a part of relationship or you can say has a relationship. So, in my car example, if we consider car and wheel, so a car cannot move without a wheel, but wheel can be independently used with a bike, scooter, cycle, any other vehicles. So, here the association is wheel to car and it will be represented by empty diamond cycle, diamond. Okay. And another thing is composition. So, I already mentioned composition is a part of aggregation. Okay. So, you can think from this diagram, composition is a part of aggregation, right, and it's portray the whole part relationship and it depicts the deficiency between a composite, that means a parents, and its parts, that is children, which means that if the composite is discarded, we will its parts go deleted. It exists between the similar object. Let me see an example so that you can get the idea of what I want to say. Suppose a person is a class. Okay. So, this is one of the class name is called person, and right now I am talking about composition. So, person is a class and the person has a brain. Okay. So, brain is one of the class and heart is one of the another class and legs, this is another class. So, composition is a part of aggregation, we already know the aggregation, and I want to say that if the composite is discarded, so it will, so will it part get deleted, right. So, it exists between the similar object. So, in this example relationship between person with a class with brain class, heart class and leg class. If the person is destroyed, this thing is destroyed, then brain, heart and leg will also be discarded. So, how do I represent that kind of relationship? That is represented by a black diamond, or we can say field diamond. So, this is the relationship between person, heart and brain class. So, look at this, in case of aggregation there is a empty diamond, but in case of composition we can consider as a filled diamond. So, that is the relationship of composition. So, let me take another example so that you can get the idea of what I want to say about the aggregation and composition. So, let me think about in inheritance. In inheritance we have seen that we have two type of relationship. One of the relationship is a relationship and another relation is a has a or part of relationship. I have already discussed in my previous lecture. For example, fruit class. So, if I think banana, so banana is a class and apple is a class and suppose mango is a class. Okay. So, there are three classes. So, we can say that fruit we can write like this. So, we know that we have to use by arrow symbol, solid arrow. Okay. So, banana is a fruit, apple is a fruit, mango is a fruit. So, that kind of relation is called is a relationship. And if I think in our library example, for example, booking is one of my class. If I think booking is one of my class name, and whenever a person want to booking and we have a two instance, one of the instance for example member M is a one instance and payment for example P is a another instance. Okay. So, you can think like this. So, we have a one of the class is member, this class name is member and another class name is payment. Okay. We already know the aggregation and association and composition. Now, think about it. So, in booking in library system in booking has a two instance, one of the instance is member, one of the instance is payment. So, if I want to delete the payment option the this payment class whatever the connection that will be lost, right. I do not want to connect further in my payment class. So, that type of relationship I already mentioned that in case of composition, if I want to delete a particular if I want to delete a particular association, then relationship connect to the classes, then automatically the link will be destroyed or discarded. So, here the relationship is composition. So, we can represent by using diamond, field diamond, when we talking about the composition, that is field diamond. Okay. So, that is composition, right. And in case of member, if I want to delete this one payment option, but member should not be, data should not be deleted, right. So, here the relation so is aggregation. So, in case of aggregation, we can represent empty diamond symbol. Okay. So, that is aggregation. Now, I will discuss about different type of association. After that, I will discuss about the comparison between the association, aggregation and composition. So, let me think about the association, talk about the association, because I have already mentioned several times that there are mainly, if I think about the multiplicity. So, association maybe there are three type of relationship. One is called unidirectional association, and second one is bidirectional association, and third one is reflexive association. Okay. So, let me take one of the example. For example, we have a booking. In booking class, I will explain later with simple example, so that you can understand. So, there may be a link multiplicity as summarized as link without one to many, many to one, one to one. So, that kind of relation. So, first let me write the class name for bidirectional association. So, this is the example of bidirectional association. So, from the tutorial you will get so many other example also. So, this is my class I have just mentioned, and one of the class name is member. Okay. I have already mentioned that that kind of relation is a association. Okay. And here, so booking is done by member. So, there the association link, so done by one person. So, booking is done by one person, and member can do booking, it can be do 0 or more than 1. So, that is 0 to start. Okay. So, here the relationship in this way, the relationship is booking can be done by member and member can do booking. So, that is my link association name, and that kind of association is called bidirectional association. Both direction it is working. Let me think another example, unidirectional association, where suppose the member, okay, this is my member class, and we have another class, for example notification. So, notification only sent to the member cannot send anything to this. So, notification can send to one or many member, one to many, okay, one to many. So, send to, the name is send to member. So, here the direction member cannot send anything to notification class sent any notification to the member. So, that association is unidirectional association. And another association that is called reflexive association or reflexive. Association. How? So, for example, member. Okay. So, if I consider the member class, so a member can refer or refer by, a member can refer by a member. Okay. So, we can write like this, refer by, refer by. Okay. And 202 n number of member, and even a member can refer by a member. So, that type of relation is called reflexive association. So, we have a binary association. For example, we can consider in case of binary association, a person sit on chair. Okay. So, it is a example of binary association, because chair cannot sit on person, a person can sit on chair. So, we also think some other example from the tutorial also, and we have also ternary association, when we can say NRE or association, class name, the structure look like this is my class name, one of the class name, and that is my diamond symbol, empty diamond symbol, and that is associated with class name, another class name. So, another class is associated with this one, and this association is called n-array association. So, here also a class. When three class, more than one class are association, that relation is called n-array association. Okay. And it can be divided into binary association or losing information, we can think that. Now, come to the next important topic, the difference between the association, aggregation and composition. So, association relationship is represented by using arrow, we have already seen, by using arrow, but in case of aggregation, an empty diamond at the one end, but in case of composition, straight line with a black diamond at the one end. So, that is the representation. How can I representation association, aggregation and composition, and it can exist between two or more classes. In case of association, we have seen that we can do it binary association, ternary association or n-array association, reflexive association. So, it can exist between two or more classes, and in case of aggregation, we have seen that is a part of association relationship, is a part of association relationship, and composition is a part of aggregation relationship. I have mentioned also. In association, we have seen that one to one, one to many, many to one and many to many association, right. So, I have just mentioned here. So, one to one, many to many. So, we can say in this way. So, many to many or many to one, many to many association, and in case of aggregation, it exists a kind of weak relationship. Aggregation is a weak relationship, but composition is a strong relationship. Okay. Strong type relationship. Object are linked together. In case of association, we have told you about the link and association when two objects are linked together, and in case of aggregation, we have seen that link objects are independent of each other. Look at the example. I have already discussed about the so many example. I have just discussed about the aggregation where wheel, car. So, both are independent, right. Okay. But in case of composition, we have seen that if I want to destroy this person, that brain class, heart class, leg class will be destroyed. So, where we can say that here the link objects are dependent on each other, both are depend each other. In case of association, it may or may not be affect the other associated element if one element is deleted, but in case of aggregation, deleting one element does not affect the other associated element. just like the car and wheel example, and but in case of composition it affects the other element if one of its associated element is deleted. If any of the element, if I delete leg, so we can say it is not a person. If I delete heart, so we cannot say it is a person. So it will be affected. Okay. So this is the comparison between the association and aggregation and composition. This part is very important for your exam. Now see about the meta class. So we already know what is the meta class. I have already mentioned in other place also in other lecture. So right now I am talking about the meta class. Meta class. Okay. So in object oriented programming, a meta class is a class whose instance are classes. Okay. So we can say that meta class is a class of a class. Understood? Meta class is a class of class, right? Class of, it is a class of classes, right? Let me write this one. Meta class is a class of classes, but in case of when we talk about the class, class is always define the behavior of certain object, right? But when we talk about the meta class define the behavior of certain classes and their instances. That is the definition of meta class. Okay. So Java language do not support meta class directly, but one can use the features such as constructor, deconstructor in C++ for this purpose. Also static method and variable can be used to share the data between the all instances of the classes. So that about the meta class, only the definition is important. What does mean in our object oriented programming language we will see. And the last topic I want to discuss in this chapter, that is grouping construct. Grouping construct. Okay. So there are two grouping constructs. One is called module and another is sheet. So there are two grouping constructs in object oriented programming. One is called module and another is sheet. So let me tell you the definition of module. Module is a logical construct for grouping the classes, association and generalization. So far we know that association, and in the previous lecture, earlier lecture, when we talk about the inheritance, we talk about the generalization, specialization, restriction, so those things. So here module is a logical construct for grouping the classes, association and generalization. An object model consists one or more module. The module name is usually listed at the top of each sheet. Now the question is, what is sheet? Second, module, understood. Now sheet is a single printed page. Sheet is a mechanism for breaking a large object model into a series of pages. So I will divide a large object model into series of pages, and each module is contained in one or more sheets. So here within that sheet I want to say we have a two term, one is called module, another is sheet. So a module can be present within one or more sheet, understood? Okay. So each module, sheet number or sheet names inside the circle contiguous to a class box indicate that other seats are referred to a class. So, let me summarize the concept of grouping construct. There are two types of grouping construct, one is called module and another is called set. Module is a logical construct for grouping the classes, association and generalization. Okay. But when we talk about the set is a single printed page and set is the mechanism for breaking a large object model. So, I will break the object model, large object model into number of series of pages. So, we can say that each module may be contained within one or more seated. Okay. So, that is the concept of grouping construct in case of object oriented programming language. Okay. So, in this lecture I have discussed about the aggregation, composition and association. That topic is very important and concept is very compulsory for every person, and one of the important thing I have discussed in case of inheritance, I have discussed is a relationship or has a relationship. Is a relationship is only simple one, we have already discussed so many times in this in the previous lecture also I have discussed. In this lecture I have discussed about the aggregation and association. So, we have seen that composition is a part of aggregation, aggregation is a part of association, right. This is my actual picture diagram. So, composition is a part of aggregation and aggregation is a part of association, and I have also discussed about the link. Okay, link is a physical link between the two objects and link name must be associated with the line. Okay. Same when we have discussed about the association rules or unidirectional association, bidirectional association, reflexive association, n-ary association, we have seen that the bidirectional where the direction in both direction, unidirectional you understand from unidirection means one to many. Bidirection means we can think as a booking can done by one member or 0 to 1 member can booking, right. So, it is a one to many relation. Here in case of unidirectional we have seen the notification and member class, notification only sent to the member. So, it is unidirectional, one or more notification can send to the member. Okay. Third one we have seen the reflexive association where a member referred by a member, or we can write the member 0 to 1 member referred by member. So, when a class referred to himself, then it is think as a reflexive association. Okay. 0 to 1 referred by member. Okay. So, we will see another example in my tutorial also, and when two or more classes are connected through a diamond, then that type of association is called n-ary association. So, a number of class can associated by this help, and we have compared the association, aggregation and composition, which is very important, and we have discussed discovered the meta class. Only the definition is very important. What does mean the meta class? A class of a class. Please remember that meta class means when we talk about the meta class in object oriented programming, a meta class is a whole instance or classes. So, meta class is a class of classes, that only one term you have to remember, and here the instance of a meta class is also a class. Okay. There are so many language support meta classes. For example, class, Smalltalk support meta classes. Okay. And when we talk about the grouping, we have to think that there are two types of grouping. One is called module and another is called grouping construct, another is called set. So, module is a logical construct of grouping on grouping classes, association and generalization. But when talk about the sheet is a single printed page. So, a module can be divided into number of sheet. So, each module can be present in one or more sheet. That is all about object oriented programming class diagram, and next class I will discuss about inner class and static inner class I will discuss. Thank you.